You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR 680. And today, the San Francisco Giants did the impossible, the unthinkable, something that I thought they would not be able to do on this road trip. They won 2 consecutive games. I'm kidding, of course. We can't celebrate 2 consecutive wins over the Rockies, but it is good to see the Giants get another 8-6 victory at Coors Field. With the win, they secured the series win and salvage a little bit of positivity on this road trip. And the offense finally has shown back up. It is at Coors Field, but they put up back-to-back high-scoring outings and remain undefeated when the Giants score more than 5 runs. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you tuning in. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. Today's show is sponsored by eBay Motors. From brake kits to exhaust kits and beyond, eBay Motors has over 122 million parts to keep your ride or die alive. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to bring home that big win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit. Only available to U.S. customers. This one was, Jordan Hicks pitched pretty well, but the hallmark of this game was the Giants offense. The second inning was the Giants' best inning of the season. I think so. It's the most runs they've scored in a single inning since March 30th, the 8th inning versus the Padres. They poured on 6 runs to jump out to an early 6-0 lead, give Jordan Hicks a nice big cushion, which is something the Giants starting pitchers have not had all season long, man. Started out with a Michael Conforto homer on the first pitch of that inning, his 6th bomb of the season, which leads the Giants Conforto's been up and down this season. He started off so hot and cooled off a little bit, but he's been hitting pretty good on this road trip. He hit pretty well in Philly, and he's doing more in Colorado. So hopefully Conforto stays hot. When he is hot, this Giants offense is a completely different animal. They become a formidable threat when he is a threat at the plate. When he can get extra base hits, hit home runs, it changes how this Giants offense really produces. And it was, as I said, his 6th home run of the year. In the Giants, usually, as we've come to expect this year, they kind of get the 1 or 2 runs and that's it. I kind of expected them to fizzle out after that. But no, it was the start of a rally. Matt Chapman singled, Mike Yastrzemski singled, and then Elliot Ramos comes up, the debut of him this season, not his MLB debut, but the first time we've seen him with the big league club this year in 2024. And he comes up in a big situation with 2 runners on, runner in scoring position, and they haven't been able to get a hit from their designated hitter in those situations for a very long time. They've struggled all season long, primarily Jorge Soler is who we're talking about. Soler hits the IL with a shoulder issue, the 10-day IL. We'll see what he looks like when he comes back. Hopefully he is back to his old self. And I mean old self as in pre-Giants version of himself, because he has not looked very good. But Elliot Ramos, inside outs, a blooper to right field, and off his fist scores Matt Chapman from second base. Yaz gets to third. It was a good hit to keep the line moving, to keep the rally rolling, and it was a good piece of hitting for him to muscle that ball out of the infield, inside out, that pitch that was inside on the hands. I like Ramos up at the big league level. I think he needs to stay. The Giants, they don't really have anything going for them as far as outfielders that can hit very well, except for Jung-Hoo Lee and Michael Conforto when he's hot. But you look at what the DH has done all year long. You look at what the Giants have failed to do with outfield prospects over all of these last however many years it's been, like decades since they've been able to produce a quality outfield prospect. I think this guy needs to stay with the big league team. He really does. I think he's proved it. His stats in AAA this year have been really, really good in the PCL. In 30 games, he's got 34 hits, 23 runs. He's got 3 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs, 21 RBIs, and he's got 16 walks as well, 37 strikeouts in those 30 games. You want to see that number come down a little bit, but hitting 296 and slugging 565, OPS of 953. That'll play, man. I want to see this guy at the big league level. I want to see him stick around. I don't ever want to see him wearing a River Cats uniform again. Anyways, back to this one. Right after that Ramos single, we had another really fun play on a bunt, which is the second fun bunt play we've had on this road trip. Nick Ahmed lays down a bunt and Mike Yastrzemski scores from third. It was not a suicide squeeze, but it was a sack bunt it was ruled a sack bunt. I think they maybe should have ruled it. I know the throw came home and Yastrzemski was safe, but I don't think they really were going to have a play on Ahmed at first, even if they went directly to first base. I think they should have given him a hit on that one, but they rule it a sack bunt. Mike Yastrzemski scores on the play after a great slide, man. I mean, Yaz comes in head first, uses his left hand to swipe across the bag as he goes to the right, trying to stay to the outside of the catcher as far as possible, get away from that tag. And I mean, you heard Hunter Pence and Dave Fleming say it was the slide of the year for the Giants. And I mean, I don't know about that. Sure, let's call it the slide of the year, but Mike Yastrzemski doing everything he can to put the Giants on the board. Nick Ahmed contributing, doing whatever he can do to keep this rally rolling and get on base. And that's what the Giants have been missing in this offense, is just figuring out a way to manufacture runs, get on base. This team is not going to hit a ton of home runs. They got to figure out how to score in other ways. This is exactly how you do that. Then Jung-Hoo Lee comes up and just blasts one to right field. 105 off the bat, just slams off the right field wall, just shy of a home run. Instead, it's a double, scores Ramos on the play, and then Lamont Wade Jr. singles to center and scores 2 more runs. It was a tough pitch to handle on the outside corner. He went down and got it, and just off the end of the bat, put it right into center field. Just great hitting as we've seen all season long from Lamont Wade Jr. Giants bat around the order. Conforto picks up actually 2 hits in the inning. The second time he comes up, he picks up a hit again. The Giants score 6 runs. As I said, the last time they scored 6 runs in a game was April 20th. Shout out April 20th, a great date in this lifetime. And Pat Bailey, bobblehead / walk-off home run day, if you guys remember that. That's the last time the Giants scored 6 runs in a game. They scored 6 runs in this one inning. It also tied the season high, as I said, for most runs in an inning by the Giants. Last time they did this was the 8th inning versus the Padres on March 30th. In the bottom of the second, the Rockies put one on the board. Doyle tripled, and then a Blake Sable passed ball allowed the run to score. And man, we would have been talking about that a lot on this show if the Giants ended up spoiling this one at the end, because it did get close. Yaz tripled in the top of the third, and Blake Sable doubled to score him. So Sable kind of made up for his mistake there, gave the Giants a 7-1 lead. In the 5th inning, Beck doubles for the Rockies. Blackman singles to drive him in. Rockies still trail 7-3, or 7-2 at that point. But then Tovar singles, McMahon walks, and a Diaz swinging bunt scores Blackman. We saw the Giants do that a couple of times last night. So, I mean, I guess it's fair that the Rockies get one of their own. Rockies trail 7-3. Hicks was done after that inning. He was able to get out of it, but that was the whole day for Jordan Hicks. After the 5th, he had given up 3 runs on 7 hits, only 2 walks, which is good to see after he gave up a uncharacteristic high number of walks in his last outing. 5 strikeouts. His ERA is now 2.30 on the season. Not his best day as on the hill for the Giants, but rarely is a start in Coors Field the best start of your career. Like Kyle Harrison's start last night was such an anomaly. Usually pitchers are pressing to get outs at Coors Field. Kyle Harrison made it look real easy. Hicks on the day, 92 pitches, 59 strikes. He only got 4 groundouts on the day, 3 flyouts. So the ball was getting up in the air a little bit more often than it usually does with Hicks on the mound. It's Coors Field, man. I'm just gonna chalk it up to it's Coors Field, and It happens, but he did pitch well enough to get the win. He earns the win in this one. Jordan Hicks doing what he does out there on the mound for the Giants, picking up another win on this road trip for the squad. They now have 3 wins on this road trip, which is less than ideal, but better than we thought that it might be once we noticed how bad this team was playing in Boston, in Philly. It was bleak. It was really bleak. It still is not, all roses for the Giants, but they're moving in the right direction, thankfully. And there was some concern towards the end of the game. The Rockies did make it close. They tacked on another run in the 6th inning. The Giants ended up getting another run in the 7th inning on a McMahon throwing error to first base that allowed Conforto to score on the play. That's also after Conforto got on base via walk, and then a wild pitch allowed him to score or move over to second base before the throwing error allowed him to score from second on the ground ball to third base. So no hits for the Giants in that inning, but they still scratch a run across, which that's what other teams have been doing to the Giants all season long. And man, it felt good for the Giants to get a gimme like that in a game. Finally, man. I mean, finally. So Giants had 8-4 lead after the top of the 7th, and in the bottom of the 9th, it got close. Duvall back-to-back walks again to start the inning, got a double play, which ended up being massive because Diaz hits a 2-run jack as soon as that double play happened. And that could have been a lot worse. If that prior batter had gotten a base hit, those bases were juiced, that would have been a grand slam. That would have tied that game 8-8. Instead, it's only 8-6, and Duvall ends up pulling it out. Giants win 8-6. Whew, that was a lot closer than it needed to be. Giants remain undefeated when they score 5 or more runs this season. I mean, it's been tough out there to get those runs, though, because there's only been 2 other instances. This is the 3rd time this season that the Giants have managed to score 5 or more runs in back-to-back games. And all of those are wins. As I just said, undefeated in those instances. They're now 10-0 on the season when scoring 5 or more runs. We got to take a quick break, but we got to take a deeper look at a lot of stuff from this one. Jordan Hicks keeps rolling. Elliot Ramos is here. The 2nd inning eruption. We got to give a quick shout out to Brian Sabian Sabes, who doesn't love some Sabes news. We got to take a little bit deeper look at Lamont Wade Jr. He came up with another big hit for the Giants today, and he has been on an absolute tear so far this season. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. We will be right back. Moms are a gift, so give her the best this Mother's Day. Get gifts as thoughtful as she is with DoorDash. Select from hundreds of expertly crafted bouquets to the best of tech to self-care essentials and more delivered right to her door. Pair flowers with a gift card so she can celebrate any way she wants. Is she a bookworm? Try a bookstore gift card. Does she love a good latte? Get a gift card to her favorite coffee shop. You can't go wrong. Get thoughtful gifts she deserves with the convenience you need. Choose same-day delivery or schedule a week ahead for when flowers and gifts should arrive to her door with DoorDash. Shop with savings that would make her proud. With a Dash Pass membership, you'll save with a $0 delivery fee and reduced service fees on eligible orders from Dash Pass merchants that meet the minimum subtotal. Other fees, including service fees, apply. Terms apply. Get all your Mother's Day gifts all in one place and get 50% off your next order up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower, convenience, grocery, or retail order now with code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. And today's show is also brought to you by eBay. Passion, drive, and patience. The formula for winning championships is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Today, the Giants pull one out 8-6 over the Rockies. It has been a tough road trip. This is just their third win in this very, very long road trip, which just feels agonizingly long at this point. And it's all about the offense right now. These last two games in Colorado have been, I mean, it is Colorado, but it's been exactly what the Giants were looking for. It's been exactly what they needed to get back on track. And one of the big parts of this Giants offense that has come through both yesterday, today, and really all season long for the Giants is Lamont Wade Jr. I mean, last night he came up with that big hit in the fourth inning. There were two outs. It looked like the end of a Giants rally, but he kept it going, which is something that we have not seen very much this season. The Giants, whenever they score anything, whenever they scratch a run across the board, whenever they get anything going, they seem to shoot themselves in the foot and do something to end the inning as quickly as possible. But last night, Lamont Wade kept it rolling. That hit was pivotal. It just felt like it broke the Rockies a little bit. And today, he did again. He came up with a big hit in the middle of another big rally for the Giants. And it was, again, another rally that felt like it broke the Rockies. And I know the Rockies have 8 wins all season. They're now 8-28 with the loss. The Giants, I should mention, 17-21 with the win. So still 4 games under 500, but creeping back closer and closer and closer, just inching there. It seems that it's unattainable for the Giants to get over 500 this season. I mean, I'm going to throw like a whole party at my house when they finally do. My apartment is like 200 square feet. So we'll have like 3 whole people here, but I'm throwing a party regardless of when they finally reach 500, if they ever get to that point. Anyways, they're going to do that. They're going to need Lamont Wade Jr. to keep hitting. And that's exactly what he's been doing this season. He's batting .351. That's a great batting average. I mean, that is like Luis Arraez territory. He's got 4 doubles, 1 homer, 10 RBIs in 35 games. This was coming into tonight. And tonight he had another okay night. He had 1 hit at the plate, 2 RBIs, well, just 1 for 5, 2 strikeouts. You saw him argue on one of those strikeouts on a pitch that did catch a little bit of the plate. Wade thought it was low. It was not low. It just barely caught that black of the strike zone. So he's got one of the best eyes in the bigs, but on that one, he was actually wrong, which was kind of surprising to see. Anyways, he's got a .485 on base percentage. .485. It's the best in baseball with a minimum of 100 plate appearances, and his .351 average is 3rd best in the bigs. He's also got a 20.8 walk rate, or at least coming into tonight, he did. Also ranks the best in Major League Baseball with a minimum of 100 plate appearances. So Lamont Wade Jr. has been doing everything for this team at the dish. He's been the main catalyst for this offense so far this season. That's why he's worked his way into the 3 spot. I mean, this is a guy who's had a pretty solid career as a Giant. I mean, when he first came up as a rookie, man, this guy just tore he was tearing the world down. Like, he was absolutely on fire, and he had a little bit of a sophomore slump, but he's been pretty solid with his eye at the plate the whole time. And I was actually listening to the game on KMBR on the radio yesterday, and I was really enjoying listening to FP Santangelo talk about how good he does at keeping his head still. Lamont Wade Jr. so still at the plate, his eyes just locked in on that pitch, and it's that stillness of the head, the eyes, that really help him pick up on that pitch as it's coming out of the pitcher's hand and decide right away whether or not he's going to swing, whether it's ball or strike, out of the hand. And he's just seeing the ball so well right now. Obviously, if you're hitting 350 plus, that thing probably just looks like a beach ball coming at you. So this guy is just so locked in right now for the Giants, and it has been really, really, really good to see, because they've needed somebody to keep this line moving, and nobody else on this team who plays every day at least is batting anywhere close to what Lamont Wade Jr. is doing. 341 is a great batting average. After tonight, he's down to 341. So nobody else is even close to 300, though. Lamont Wade Jr. is really the highlight of this Giants offense, at least with Pat Bailey on the injury list still. And there's a bunch of Giants who are down on that injured list, kind of making their way back towards contributing to this team for the first time this season. Some guys were looking to make a return to the team that have, picked up injuries since the beginning, but the guys who've been out for a while are inching closer and closer and closer. I'm talking Alex Cobb, Tristan Beck, Robbie Ray, those type of guys. Where are they at? We'll give you an update on the other side, Giants injury list update, and some more notes from today's game and other things happening around the Giants world. Quick Brian Sabian note on the other side. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Spring training is over and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your PrizePicks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks entry today. PrizePicks has something for every sports fan, from baseball and basketball to League of Legends and everything in between. You can pick Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, and Jude Bellingham all in the same entry. I'd say you could pick LeBron James too, but he's already been bounced out of the NBA playoffs. You might go ahead and take Ant Edwards because this dude is turning into Kobe Bryant / MJ before our very eyes. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. The Giants, with their 8-6 win in Colorado, now won 2 games in a row on this road trip, something I really didn't think they would be able to do after I saw their first couple games in Boston. But, this team has been rolling all season, or not all season long, but in these last couple days, and don't let them get hot. 2-game winning streak, man. Don't let the Giants get hot. I'm kidding, man. This team needs a lot more to prove a lot more before we can talk about this team, being a good team or getting hot or anything like that. Like, 2 good games in Coors Field is not a sign that this team is just, back to raking at the dish, because we can't really say back to raking because they haven't shown any sort of consistency at the plate all season long. It's been up and down. As I said, this is only the 3rd time this season that the Giants have posted 5 or more runs in back-to-back games. It happened last time it happened was during the Mets series. So it's been a while since the Giants were able to do this. They're gonna need to figure out how to do this far more often, more than like once a month, which is the rate that they're currently doing it at. Need to figure out a way to score more runs more often. And that's the one thing that this team can't do. Their pitching is great. Starting pitching staff has been excellent on this road trip. They've been kind of shaky, but these last couple nights have been really good. Kyle Harrison righted the ship with that. Hicks with another quality start today. And the bullpen has been pretty good. If Duvall hadn't given up those 2 runs in the 9th inning, it was only a 1-run game from the bullpen. The 1 run coming up charged to Sean Jelly, who put 2 runners on in that 6th inning, and Taylor Rogers ended up giving up the hit that scored the run, although the run was charged to Sean Jelly. The Giants still have a long way to go to get back to winning baseball and being considered a good team. And one thing that's going to help them is getting all of these reinforcements back from the injured list. And I'm not blaming this losing, not streak, because they're not in the midst of a losing streak, but this bad stretch of a road trip, this bad stretch of Giants baseball. I'm not blaming it on injuries, because these are guys who haven't been with the team all season long, like Tristan Beck, Alex Cobb. Like, yes, they are missing Pat Bailey, and that's a massive, massive, massive loss. Cannot be understated. Like this is such a massive loss when you are missing a guy like Pat Bailey, who is your defensive MVP and one of the best bats in your lineup. I mean, he was having such a good month of April. He had a super hot week and he cooled off a little bit, but then the injury just, man, you hate to see that. That's gonna derail your team a little bit, especially when you have your backup catcher get injured too. And then you got to call up two separate guys in back-to-back days to take red-eye flights from AAA to get up here. I mean, it's been stressful for the Giants. Thankfully, I should mention Blake Sabol had himself a night again tonight. 3 hits, 3 for 4 tonight, RBI. His batting average now up to 500 in his limited action this season. So, I mean, we saw it last year from Blake Sabol. He was able to hit, did it well enough in the beginning of the season that he earned a spot on the team later in the year, and he made himself invaluable to that Giants team last year when no one else could hit, and he was the only one putting the ball in play. So Blake Sabol making the most of his opportunity again with the big league club, although you still kind of have some question marks about his ability as a catcher defensively. Again, the passed ball allowing a run to score tonight, that's not what you want to see. So Pat Bailey, he continues to improve. He's reportedly working towards beginning light baseball activity. Pat Bailey on that 7-day concussion IL. The Giants really, really need him back, man. They really do. His counterpart, Tom Murphy, not counterpart, but other, not battery mate either, because that would be pitcher, but his other buddy who plays catcher with him on the Giants, Tom Murphy, traveled back to San Francisco yesterday to begin treatments and rehab. He's expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. It'll be a while before we'll see Tom Murphy back in the squad again. So those guys, it'll be a boost when Pat Bailey comes back. Tom Murphy isn't going to make a world of difference. Blake Snell, though, I think that's a guy who can make a big difference when he does come back, especially since the starting pitching staff has started to get a little shaky on this road trip. This is a guy that the Giants have very high expectations for, and I think those expectations are still there despite the slow start to the season for Blake Snell. He's been very, very, very shaky to start the year. That's putting it lightly, but he did throw live BP in San Francisco yesterday. Hopefully Snell is back with the squad sooner rather than later. Jorge Soler also placed on the 10-day IL today with a right shoulder strain. Hopefully that maybe explains some of the struggles at the plate for Soler. It's been tough sledding out there for him, and I like Ramos in there right now as the DH. So it's not, whether or not that was gonna happen anyways, based on how things have been going for Soler at the plate and how hot Ramos has been in AAA. That could have been a move that the Giants made anyways later on down the line. Bob Melvin went on KMBR today and kind of danced around that question and said, we don't really have to worry about that since Jorge Soler going on the IL. That might just be what we are forced to do anyways, given the circumstances. And lo and behold, Ramos comes up, gets a hit in his first at-bat with a runner in scoring position, which is the one thing we've been missing all season long from Jorge Soler. So great to see Ramos up there. I never want to see him in a River Cats uniform again. I like those River Cats unis. They're kind of fun. So is that ballpark. Hopefully the A's have fun playing there next year. I mean, that's a topic for another show. Maybe go check out the Locked On A's postcast for that discussion. But anyways, I never want to see Ramos wearing a River Cats uni ever again. This guy needs to stay in the bigs. He needs to face big league hitting. Before we run out of time here, quick updates on these other guys who we haven't seen yet this year. Tristan Beck, Alex Cobb, Robbie Ray. These guys are all still working back towards getting on the field for the first time this season. Tristan Beck initiated his throwing program on Monday, which is great. I mean, an aneurysm in your arm, that injury still just scares the hell out of me when I hear it. The plan is for him to throw about 3 times a week. So hopefully Beck starts this rehab process and hopefully he avoids any setbacks with this very scary injury. Alex Cobb increased his activity to throwing from 90 feet out on Monday and will continue to progress his intensity this week, continue to ramp it up, and hopefully we'll be seeing him back before too long. I mean, it's always been projected he's going to come back in May. We'll see exactly when. I mean, maybe like 3rd week in May, but we'll see. Alex Cobb throwing at 90 feet, and Robbie Ray continues to throw bullpens. He's not quite back in. He's not in San Francisco yet. He's out in Arizona throwing bullpens twice a week, and he is throwing all of his pitches, off-speed stuff. So working up from that Tommy John, those off-speed pitches are going to be tougher. That torque that you got to generate for sliders and curves and things like that. I mean, Robbie Ray is a dominant force when he's healthy. We have no idea what this guy's going to look like when he comes back, but these are a lot of pieces for the Giants, man. I mean, a lot of good arms. We got 4 high quality arms that can come back from the IL all within the next couple months. I mean, just this month, you might get 2 of those guys back, Blake Snell and Alex Cobb. That would be a big boost, having both of those guys back before the end of May. Plus, Patrick Bailey is going to, be Patrick Bailey when he comes back. And hopefully Jorge Soler, hopefully, that's the one question mark. You don't know what you're going to get when this guy comes back. Pat Bailey is going to be Pat Bailey. Alex Cobb, probably going to be Alex Cobb. Maybe not last year's version of Alex Cobb, because that was crazy. I don't think we're getting an all-star Alex Cobb this year, but we know what you get from Alex Cobb. Another good ground ball guy. He's a solid pitcher, works efficiently. I like how fast he pitches up there on the mound. Like, he's just working quick in between each batters. I hate slow games. So Alex Cobb, one of my favorite guys to go see pitch on the mound, like actually physically go to the yard and watch. And Blake Snell obviously could be a huge lift if he ever figures it out on the hill. And I really do think he will. I know a lot of you have been pretty down on Snell to start the season. Rightfully so. He's had a really rough time as a Giant, but I think he's going to be just fine. I mean, he's had notoriously slow starts throughout his whole entire career. I think he just needed some time to get ramped up, and it was a convenient time to throw him on the IL and allow him to ramp up without all the pressure of performing at a Cy Young level, meeting the expectations of that contract, pitching in a new place. All of these things he doesn't have to worry about now. Just all he's got to worry about is figure out how to get locked in on the mound. The Giants have an opportunity to get better, man. They also have an opportunity to get their first series sweep of the season tomorrow. Let's finally do this, man. Please. It would be the first time the Giants swept a series this year. First time that they would get 3 consecutive wins this year. Let's please give us something positive to finish this road trip off with. It's been tough, but if we can come back home to San Francisco, with beautiful San Francisco today. By the way, my God, what a day. Like mid 70s all through the city, not a cloud in the sky. It was still warm outside, even as the sun was setting out here in the sunset. I mean, when it's like this nice in the sunset, the entire city is just absolutely gorgeous. So today was a nicer day than the Giants had at the plate at Coors Field, which was a pretty nice day too. Anyways, the Giants are going to need to hopefully give us something positive to hang our hats on when they come back. If they pick up a series sweep in Colorado to close out this road trip, it will definitely soften the blow of the sweep in Philly and the series loss in Boston. So Giants can do themselves a big favor by getting a win tomorrow on getaway day. And thank goodness it is finally getaway day and they can get away back to Oracle Park. That's all the time that we got for you guys on this one today. The Locked On Giants postcast rolls on tomorrow. We'll come to you live after the Rockies Giants go final tomorrow afternoon. Day game tomorrow, early start. So make sure you guys are ready for that one. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.